Welcome to the Pew. We are in hot pursuit.
Lovegun.
At Lovegun. I am in hot pursuit of Esteban, the cab driver that Jane and William jerked off for the cab the other day. And we have footage of it, and we want him to come here and talk about it. I just reached him, I just texted him, and he said he's coming, but it's going to take him an hour to get here. So I asked
him. He's coming?
I asked him
if he could get here
in 45 minutes, but we'll see. But we're going to have him, folks. We're going to have him.
I already have it.
He's got a nice car. Yes, we're going to have a reenactment.
Well, we want the cute subway guy to come up.
Oh, here. Yeah, bring the subway guy.
Come on, come.
Cute subway boy.
What's your name again?
David.
Cute subway boy.
No, just stand right here. Here's David, the cute guy that Sprite and Dee found.
The older
subway.
man that they found on the train.
You know, isn't he just adorable?
They brought him here. Mom, can I take him home? Can I keep him?
I love your outfit, your sweater. Did you make it?
No, but one of my friends did.
Oh yeah, I do like the back. Turn around, show the back.
Show the back. It's really cute.
Yeah.
Show the back.
It's adorable.
That's the front. And
it's adorable.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is cute. I didn't even really notice. Something I wasn't noticing the shirt you were wearing the first time. I was like,
well,
I don't.
We love the outfit, David.
Your hair was so.
Oh,
yeah. Noticing your hair.
He's on his way to a rave.
Oh, are you going to that rave at Atlantic Avenue also?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Chamber of Secrets.
Chamber of Secrets. Yeah. It's the rave that everybody's going to tonight. All the cool kids.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get into your Chamber of Secrets.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out, Dave.
All right. We will be entering the Chamber of Secrets later on. The kitchen.
Well, I entered a lot of chambers of secrets on Thursday night when I watched the Gazelle documentary, the Gazelle Paulo, the Love Issue. It was a really cool documentary.
I love Gazelle.
For those of you who don't know Gazelle Paulo, he's this nightlife personality he's still around, but he was very big in the 2000s, outrageous sensibility, and he had a documentary made about him. And you know, one of the things that
he also had a magazine, Gazelle Land.
Right, he had a magazine, Gazelle Land. And a lot of the documentary is about him trying to publish the last issue of that magazine, which is called The Love Issue.
Yeah, I remember him going through that whole drama. He wasn't raising the money and everything because they don't. Patricia Field, I think, bought an ad in it and kind of sponsors the magazine. But besides that, he doesn't really have advertising, and he didn't know how to go after it. So he would come visit me while I was in Peru, and we would talk about that and how he get advertising and stuff like that. But
yeah, he says he spent so much money publishing Gazelle Land that he could have bought an apartment.
Yeah. I know. Well, it's an expensive. I mean, you look at it; it's an expensive magazine. The paper is it's really high quality, and that's what he was going after.
So one of the things that I thought was really touching about the documentary is that when you see these big freaks out in the clubs, like you don't really know what to say to them, and you don't really get a lot of personal details about them. So he talked about his life as a flight attendant. So he has this really normal, boring job as a flight attendant.
I have a feeling it's not so normal and boring.
Well, I mean, I think that you have to deal with all these horrible people.
No, I know, but I have a feeling his job.
And you're not. It's not like he's walking in heels down the runway.
Almost.
No.
Almost.
No, because they show him in his flight attendant drag.
Yeah, but even in his flight attendant drag,
he didn't look that happy in it.
Well.
He looked kind of...
But I can imagine he was walking up and down the aisle in high heels.
So one of the things I also liked about it is that he talked about his HIV, which was very sad because at one point his T-cell count went so low that he almost had full-blown AIDS. And it was very painful for him.
I remember he came to visit me, and I really thought that was the last time I was going to see him. He was talking like that, like he was wrapping up loose ends and.
So what I thought was really interesting about it was he talked about getting old, and when you're like one of these club divas, you don't really think of them as getting old. And
what are you talking about? Nobody gets old.
Well, people do get old, and
who?
We're going to talk about that in the second segment, and how it can take a psychological toll.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I never thought about that.
Okay, well, you're unique in that respect.
I'm being sarcastic.
We'll be right back.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Welcome back to the Pew.
The View.
Michael just can't stop laughing.
So funny. And we're gonna take that one.
We thought we'd give you a touching tribute to a friend of ours. If Michael can stop laughing and get serious, try to be sad. Like, show him the card that says "cry." Rebecca,
It doesn't work. She doesn't do it anyway.
Show him.
Sits there.
Cry. We want to talk about Anita Sarko, who passed away this week. For those of you who didn't know her, she was a nightlife legend.
She was, and she was
Mostly from the 80s.
Yep, but she was one. Yeah, she got her start at Mud Club, and she was one of the first of the old guard that opened their arms to me, and me and James, and her and Dean Johnson were the first, and
in fact, here is the first
she hosted
party,
my first
that
party
you hosted, that Michael hosted at Danceteria. Here's the invite.
with Anita Sarko.
The Filthy Mouth contest, and she graciously offered to be part of it.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, she not only offered to be part of it, she helped me. She explained to me how to get the judges and how to pay them and how much to pay them, and and she didn't want any money for it. She just did it.
So one of the things that she was legendary for was doing this show called No Entiendes, which means you don't understand in Spanish. And it was just basically a wacky variety, and
yeah, there's a picture of Anita right there.
comedy show.
Yeah, like this. Look at you.
Yes. Unlike this one, which is not funny.
Well, but theirs wasn't really funny either. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It was very real, like this one. It's very similar to the show actually, except they had more performers. They had like wacky performers, like Karen Finley and
That's a legitimate artist.
Yeah. Wacky though, I said. Wacky,
yeah, she was wacky.
Because she would come on and she would put the yams up her pussy and stuff like that.
Karen Finley, she
And,
of the yams
I
and
never
her pussy.
understood what she was talking. I just thought she was babbling nonsense. But one time I had a recording of her shows. She would just go up there and put
chocolate pudding and cling peaches
in her vagina
and her butthole too.
Yeah, and then just talk about nonsense, just babbling on. And then my grandmother said, "I want to fuck you," and I said, "I'm not gonna fuck you. You're my grandmother." And but one day I actually listened to a recording of her show, and it really made sense. It was very deep.
What were you on?
I wasn't on anything. But she was talking about going hunting with her father. She said, "Oh, I went hunting with my father, and the car hit a deer." And he said, "Oh, it's okay. It's only a female deer." And it really resonated. That says a lot about who Karen Finley was. But anyway, we're not talking about Karen Finley, we're talking about Anita. But yeah, their show was a lot like ours.
So we're very sad about Anita because she committed suicide. And if any of you are friends with Michael Musto on Facebook, he wrote a very touching tribute to her about how
they were very good friends.
How she basically felt discarded by the club scene, which is really sad because you see all these people out in the clubs and you don't really know them that well, and suddenly they disappear and you wonder what happened to them. And,
but Anita wasn't really like that. I mean, we had Anita over for dinner, and she was, and Ernie has a funny story.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the things that I thought was brilliant about Michael Musto's post on Facebook was that he conveyed all the sadness of her death, but he also told this really funny story about how he and she were at a restaurant and she ordered cassoulet, which is that French bean and sausage stew, and she sent it back to the restaurant 5 times because she said it wasn't hot enough. So the way Michael told it was really funny, and it reminded me of the time that she came to our house where she told us this really long story about how she went to a butcher shop and got in a fight with the butcher because she ordered porterhouse steak, and that butcher was trying to pass off some cut of meat on her that was not porterhouse steak, and she
because porterhouse steak has actually 2 things.
Right, porterhouse is like sirloin and tenderloin put together, and they were trying to give her like shoulder and butt. I don't know. Yeah. I just asked her to pass the salad.
Yeah, I just remember her from men always confused her for a drag queen because she was in these very elaborate kind of ball gowns and headdresses and wigs, and she was kind of offended by that because she could not get a boyfriend because everybody thought she was a man. But she was a bitchy man, and when she DJ'd, if you weren't her friend, if you were her friend, then great, you could come up in the DJ booth and you could get a drink ticket.
I would never have asked for a song from her.
No, but that's what you could have though, and she might have played it. But if you didn't know her, and you went to ask for a song, she would just read you to filth and tell you that she is being. Are you being paid to DJ here? They're paying me $500 to be here tonight, and I'm going to choose the songs. I mean, she was just.
So we salute you, Anita.
We do, but should we? Yeah, we salute her. I have an issue. I just have an issue with people who commit suicide because it's a selfish act, I think, and it's like it's selfish to the people you leave behind. If you're experiencing pain or whatever, it's.
We have a counselor in the house,
Other
Dee,
people, yeah.
who can help you work through it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was telling Dee tonight about it, and she's like, "Oh my God, she killed herself," and she thought that I had said Nina Hagen. So within 15 minutes, the entire club was talking about Nina Hagen had killed herself. Oh yeah, Nina, Anita, I get it. Yep.
See you next time.
Bye.